Morning. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday morning. It is the 13th of July, and it is the 113th session that we're engaging in. I appreciate you coming along this morning, and I wish you a pleasant week ahead. If you're watching this after the session, welcome as well. We're at the beginning of a new week. Yesterday was Sunday, and Sunday is a special day for cyclists often because the roads are quieter and you often see them out and about. And yesterday, I myself, who am a keen cyclist, was out and about cycling, and I was approaching a converted railway. So there's a railway near where I live, an old railway, disused railway, which is now a nature trail. I was approaching the nature trail. And as I was cycling, I could hear the distant sounds of the good old bagpipes. I was talking about bagpipes on Wednesday evening at the Mindspace Plus class. And lo and behold, I could hear the distant sound of the bagpipes. And I'm familiar with the sound of bagpipes and the fan, actually, quite a fan. And this was definitely live. It wasn't just some YouTube video of bagpipe play. It was definitely the hum of the bagpipes. So as I went onto the railway, the sound got louder and louder. And as I cycled down, in the distance, there was a bagpipe player just walking with these, in this kind of walking in time with the playing of the bagpipes. The good old flower of Scotland. As I was cycling, I kind of slowed down and was enjoying the music. 3 cyclists came the other way. And one of them said, as they were passing the bagpipe player, "That's awesome. That is awesome," like that, and pointed at his bagpipes. And then it was very quick, So for a while I was cycling behind this bagpipe player, enjoying the sounds, slowing down, and then when he paused for some breaths, I had a little chat with him about the bagpipes and so forth. And then he said, "Those 3, earlier on, before you came, 3 cyclists came past." So he was referring to these 3 that I saw. And he said, one of them pointed to my bagpipes and said, "That's evil. They're evil." Yeah. So he was a little bit upset. He was carrying on playing, but he was a bit upset by this feeling that someone had said that his bagpipes were evil. Yeah. This was mistaken. Yeah, he he had a mistaken appearance to his mind, because they didn't say that. They were actually the opposite. They were quite into it and were like encouraging him. So he was suffering as a consequence of his mistaken appearance. Why am I recounting this story this morning? Because it's an important point to consider how a lot of the appearances to our mind that we have, even though sometimes it's difficult to admit to it because we like to be right and we think we're right a lot of the time, are mistaken. Appearances are deceptive, and often our opinions are unreliable. Some of the opinions that we have about the world, about people, about groups of people that we've gathered over the years, mistaken. And due to our mistaken appearance, we experience all manner of difficulties and problems. Like for this bagpipe player yesterday, there was some upset there, you could see on his face, from believing what he mistakenly heard. And he could have had a completely different experience from if he had heard what they actually said. But of course, because it was drowned out by his music. And often what we see, what we hear, is drowned out not by the bagpipes, but we could say the bagpipes of our delusions. Yeah, because the bagpipes are, it's loud, it makes quite a loud noise. And our delusions, same. They make a lot of noise, which means we often see a world that isn't actually there, and then have to experience all the consequences of this mistaken view, and stubbornly holding on to it. That's one of the main issues, the stubbornness of not changing that view. To gently, this is all meditation, very gentle. Mistaken appearances aren't, but to gently pop a question mark into our mind about the world that is appearing to it, the way that things appear, the way that people are, whether it's one person or a group of people, and start to question it. Start to question that appearance and try to have a broader view. And for our own sanity and mental health, to try to have a world that is appearing that is helpful for us. So with respect to the kindness of others, we can appear a world that is not kind and firmly hold on to that. But if we are skillful, we can see a different world that is kind, and then experience all the benefits of connecting to the kindness that is in our world. Meditation, of course, gives us the broadness, the expansion in our consciousness to be able to do this. So let's start our day and week with another meditation. Taking some long, deep breaths to slow down our world and slow down our mind. Deep inhalation and breathing in. Deep inhalation and breathing. Deep inhalation and breathing. Deep inhalation and breathing out. Final one. Deep inhalation and breathing out. Setting our intention and training in meditation for the benefit of all living beings, all these kind living beings. May they find peace and happiness and fearlessness in their lives. And to help us clear the mind and have a concentrated meditation, let's once again train in the 9-round breathing. So I will let you do this in your own time. If you lose track, I'll be doing it to remind you. So we'll do this cycle 3 times, breathing in gently, holding and breathing out. As you breathe out, take this opportunity to let go of any worries, stresses, blockages in the body and mind. my body like a mountain. My breath like the wind. And my mind like the sky. And as we abide in the vast sky of the mind, we appreciate our thoughts, beautiful clouds arising and dissolving. We enjoy their play in our mind. There is no stress or pressure to clear the mind. We are calmly abiding in the vast space of the mind, not planning for anything, not dreaming of a better time, not trying to make any improvements or adjustments, not recalling anything, any past experiences. Analyzing, trying to work anything out. Not trying to make anything happen. Just rest in the vast space of our mind. Just for a few moments, calmly abiding in the space of our mind, putting everything in perspective. Whatever appearances we have this week, you can see them in the context of arising in that space of our mind. Put things in perspective, empowering ourselves, and deciding how we appear in our world. What kind of world do we want this week? And what kind of people do we want in this world? We dedicate all the good energy from our meditation, for all living beings, all kind living beings across the world. May everyone be free from mistaken appearances and conceptions. Thank you very much. When you're ready, please bring your session to a close. Just after the bagpipe incident yesterday, I saw two hares, I saw two hares hopping about, which was nice to see. Don't get to see many hares up close. It's helpful to explore our appearances and just gently throwing that question mark. We know very well, don't we, how mistaken appearances can cause us problems, and also is one of the main reasons for discrimination towards groups of people. Like for example, this mistaken appearance yesterday by this musician. He may then, when he sees those people similar to that again, he will potentially recall this unpleasant feeling that he got. So because he received this, what he thought was criticism, he had an unpleasant feeling, and then that unpleasant feeling appeared as though it came from the words that that person said. And then, of course, he feels unhappy because no one wants unpleasant feelings. And it seems like this group of people are responsible for him having that unpleasant feeling. As a consequence, when he sees a group of people like that again, he'll recall this unpleasant feeling and then discriminate that this group of people are unpleasant in our own life and across the world and throughout history. Discrimination, and it's coming from mistaken appearance, both individually and what we pass on to our children or students, passed down through generation. And we can put a stop to that mistaken appearance. And with respect to the kindness of others, we try to relate because we're training in affectionate love, which is such a precious mind to have. We can, as a human being, not just to those close to us, but to all living beings. This is our opportunity to train in that. But to be able to do that successfully, we have to override mistaken appearance. And that means we've got to do something about the stubborn mental attitude, which believes the things that we see because we see them, believes the opinions that we have for no other reason than because we have them. And, well, I must be right. That's often a stubborn mind. And it, well, we can hold on to it if we want, but it's not much fun. We'll have a lot more fun if we can work out how to relate to others in a kind way. For example, rudeness. We don't like being on the receiving end of rudeness. We expect more from others, especially if we try to make an effort, and maybe we feel that others aren't making an effort. And then our affectionate love, our warm feeling towards others goes out the window. I was having a warm, friendly feeling towards you until you started being rude. And now you've turned into an unkind, unpleasant person. Why are you so unkind? Why are you so unpleasant? But if we're training our mind, we can recognize that just because this person is rude doesn't mean that they are unkind. Is that mistaken appearance? Could I potentially override that appearance of unkind by appearing kind? By thinking, for example, well, this supposed rude behavior is guiding me into my mind to develop peaceful mental attitude and to strengthen my resilience, to strengthen my compassion. Because if this person is being rude and negative, whatever, then maybe they're suffering. Therefore, I don't want them to suffer. May they be free from that suffering. So we see it from their perspective. We step in their shoes. And the fact that that is happening to us is giving us that opportunity. If they hadn't done that, we may not have been able to do that. As a consequence of stepping in their shoes, we have a new perspective of the world. How kind of them to give us that opportunity. How kind of them to help us practice patience. Patience is an art. And if we master it, we'll be happy. Without this person giving me this opportunity to practice patience, I wouldn't be able to have this opportunity. How kind. So the appearance for us to that person is pleasant because we understand the value. We change the appearance. The appearance is that we have. They're up to us. It's down to us. It's not predetermined. It's how we appear our world. This is real empowerment for us. I wish you a happy appearance, and I may see you later for 0.5 session 113. Have a good day ahead, everybody.